And I want to use the bipartisan Senate bill as a framework for us to start our conversation. So you said, Mr. Hunter, in your testimony that you removed or returned nearly 600,000 individuals this year.
Congressman, thank you for the question. It's actually been more. It was 630,000 just in the past 10 months.
So do you think that we could remove or return many, many more people if we had more border agents, more immigration judges, more detention beds, and revised policy as proposed in the Senate bipartisan bill?
Yes, Congressman, if there are more individuals who are not, who under their, who do not have a legal basis to remain in the country, then we have the capacity to remove.
So there are many people that don't have a legal basis to be here. We could conjecture, based upon the fact that you said earlier 70% of the people would be denied asylum if they were properly processed. And I've heard numbers as high as 80 or 90%. So, we keep on hearing about the 5,000 people a day, 5,000 people a day. We don't want 5,000 people a day coming under the bipartisan Senate proposal, but those would be 5,000 applicants for asylum. If they were properly processed with the proper number of immigration judges, proper number of border security agents, proper number of detention beds, and revised policy that's been proposed in the bipartisan Senate proposal, then 90% of those 5,000, let's say 80% or 70% using your number before, but I've heard 90%, would be in fact returned within 6 months instead of going through a 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, 8-year process. Is that correct?
Generally speaking, Congressman, that's my understanding.
So unlike what Mr. Bishop said before, the purpose of processing more people is not to let more people into the country. The purpose of processing more cases with more judges, more border security agents, more detention beds, and a better process is to actually deny the cases that will ultimately be denied, but now takes 3, 5, 9 years to get done. If we did it in 6 months, 70 to 90% of those people would be returned in a very short period of time and would never be released into the country because they'd actually be processed at the facility while staying in detention facilities. Is that correct?
So, Congressman, what I'd underscore is we value our ability to welcome and accept asylum.
And we all do. We all do. But
and
right now, that system is being corrupted by the cartels that we hear about all the time. People that are getting paid $7,000 to $10,000 per person in a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, and they are corrupting our system by telling people, hey, make sure you say this, make sure you say that. And then because of our wonderful nature of the United States of America, these people are being put through a process, but that process is taking too damn long. It's taking 3 years, 5 years, 9 years. We want to fix that process instead of just arguing about it here. We want to fix that process. We want to process the cases, and we want to return 70 to 90% of the people in a short period of time. So I want to take Mr. Luttrell up. I want to invite Mr. Bishop. I want to invite Mr. Ivey. I want to invite anybody else who wants to come. Let's start with the Senate bipartisan compromise that was negotiated by Ms. Sinema and Mr. Murphy and a wonderful gentleman from Oklahoma who I think is very conservative, ethical, honest, and hardworking, Mr. Lankford. Let's use that as a basis, and let's use that framework that was negotiated over a 4-month period, and let's find an answer to this problem. Instead of just fighting about it over and over again, let's actually do our jobs and fix it. And let's process these cases, deport the people that should be deported, and treat the other people that deserve to come to the United States of America under our historic generosity to the world, and let them in. But the rest of them, let's stop them from breaking the rules, and let's get them out. But to do that, Ms. Sabatino needs the resources, Ms. Meckley needs the resources, the Department of State needs the resources, you need the resources. You need border agents, you need immigration judges, you need detention beds, and you need a refined process that will stop people from breaking the system, breaking the rules. So we can do it. It's pretty straightforward. I'm new to Congress. I just got here recently, but I've been watching TV, and we're all freaking out when we see that what's going on at the border. All these people coming every day. It's driving us crazy. People are freaking out. Democrats and Republicans and independents are worried about the broken system. And it's because of the fact, not because Joe Biden and the executive, COVID's over. There was a surge before COVID under President Trump, if you remember. Remember the whole thing with the kids in the cages and stuff? There was a surge before COVID. It went down during COVID. There's a surge again once COVID was relieved. There's more refugees in the world, as Ms. Youth pointed out. There's 110 million refugees, displaced persons, and asylum seekers in the world now, the biggest number since World War II by quadruple. People are fleeing misery, and they'll do whatever it takes to try and come to the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. We got to fix the process that is designed to deal with 400,000 people a year, not 2.5 million people a year. Let's work together. Let's fix the problem. Let's do our jobs. Thank you very much for your testimony today. I appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.